In today's video, Tara becomes Picasso. There we go. That makes more sense, guys. Come on.
Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name's Tara. If you're not new, hi, my name's Tara. Today's video is a little bit more of a chill one. I haven't really ever done like a voiceover type video. So I decided that this video would probably be the best fit for it. I am talking at the beginning of the video because I didn't originally plan this to be a voiceover video, but you can see I stopped doing that later on, so just ignore that for now. But yeah, today I'm painting. There's a big story behind this and painting and my relationship with painting that I wanted to get into today, because for me this was a very therapeutic video. But if you had asked like Tara, you know, a year ago if painting was something that she would consider therapeutic, she wouldn't say so. I want to delve into why that is, I think, because I think it's interesting. I keep saying think, I'm sorry. I do think it's interesting though, and I think it has a lot to do with my creative process. I think it has a lot to do with me as a person, and I think it has a lot to do with the fact that I'm currently painting right now. But yeah, let's talk about painting and my relationship with it, because I think it's cool. So I loved art classes. I loved art class. I loved the idea of art class. I loved the painting and, you know, the environment and the ability to be creative and to think of something, but I hated the actual process of creating art, because I think traditional art, in the sense of art that you do in school, is very like pencil, paper, paint and brush. I think it's really like you focus on like the actual like art of like drawing and or painting, or like, I don't know, you work on like specific mediums that always involve like a lot of like technique and skill. And I remember like hating it so much because I was so bad at it. I loved the creativity of art class. I just hated the actual process of it. I wasn't a painter, I wasn't a drawer, I wasn't like a watercolorist, if that's a word. It just wasn't me. And you know, one example I have is we were doing this type of like Japanese ink type drawing, or painting I should say, and I remember at first I was like so hyped for the project, but by the end of it I literally was so drained and like so like I was so done. That's just one of the examples I can think of like me hating art class. I remember like being so excited for projects and then just like hating them by the end of it and being like, oh my god, I hate this so much, I never want to look at it ever again. But I love the creativity of art class. On the opposite end, I loved computer class. We had a computer lab in my school, or my like elementary, middle school. I'm talking about elementary and middle school right now, guys. If I should have clarified, but yeah. But, you know, back in elementary and middle school, I loved computer class. I loved, you know, using computers. I was a complete nerd when it came to computers back in the day, and I loved like being able to work with them and type and, you know, do all that type of stuff. But, you know, as we kind of got up in the years, we had a lot of different like computer teachers, because I mean, who like majors in computer teaching is the question of the hour. But anyway, we had a lot of different teachers, and we ended up getting this teacher who was really focused in teaching us coding, which I get. I think coding's a really valuable tool in this day and age to know, but I hated it. I hated coding with a passion. I loved computers. I loved all of that type of stuff, but I hated coding. I hated how linear it was. I hated how there wasn't a lot of creativity in it. And you can argue that, oh, well, coding has creativity. You can make websites and stuff like that. I didn't like it. I thought it was kind of boring, and I really didn't like how linear it was. I think that's the best way of saying coding is linear. It's zeros and ones and hyphens and whatever, and that doesn't really feel creative to me. That doesn't look like creativity to me. So here's the dilemma that little Tara has. She loves the creativity of art class, and she kind of loves the process of computering, but she hates the actual process of art class, and she hates the actual lack of creativity in computering. So I think it comes by no surprise that the median, or the medium, of those two likes, that being computers and art, is film. You know, film has both aspects. It has that creativity that comes with making a story, and it has that computing in that you have to edit and you have to, you know, change the coloring and the lighting and all that type of stuff. It has the best of both worlds in my eyes, you know. I'm no Hannah Montana, but I'm so surprised that it took me until like high school to really figure out that I loved film. I used to like record myself like doing like YouTuber type videos on like my mom's like MacBook using photo booth. I remember using iMovie for a lot of things. I remember whenever we would have like video projects in school, I would always be the one who's editing, and I'd be the one filming, and I was always like the tech girl. It shocks me because I never even considered the idea of going into like film. I always thought I was going to be an animator, But I realized, oh yeah, I hate drawing, so I can't be an animator. But no, film is where I found my passion. I think film is where I found the median of computing. Computing's probably not the right word, but I'm going to use it anyway. Computers and creativity or art. But anyway, this video is not about film. It's about painting. So here's my little take on painting as a whole. As we discussed, I got incredibly frustrated when I was in art class. I would always have these ideas in my head because I am a very creative person. I'm a very vivid person. So I would always have these ideas on what I wanted to make. And, you know, I would never be able to actually reciprocate that in the physical world. And that really frustrated me. I remember I went to this art camp every summer that my school held, my school art teacher had. And I would go there, and I remember we would always like paint with acrylics, and we'd have these painting classes. And I remember hating them so much, like loathing them, because I was so bad at painting and I just couldn't do it. I loved like the paint and gathering the paint and putting it together, but when it came to actually painting, I couldn't do it, and it frustrated me so much that I kind of just like swore off painting and art and drawing as a whole. I just wasn't good at it immediately, and it kind of pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie to you. With film, there's a lot more room for error. You can learn to correct something, you know what I mean? Like, you can figure that out. Painting, it's a whole other world. There's no linearness to it. You know, as much as I talked about how I didn't like the linearness of computing when it came to coding, I liked the linear aspect when it comes to, like, you know, editing and things like that. Editing makes sense to me. Painting does not. So when it came to painting, I just kind of didn't do it, and I found it incredibly stressful. But recently, I have found myself being very, like, interested in painting again. I don't know what it was. It was just like this urge to paint and to use it as a therapy. So I kind of went out and I bought some stuff, and I bought a canvas, and I, you know, came home and I painted. You know, that's what I did. I'm so sorry. I have gone on for like the last like 12 minutes now in this recording booth, and I have yet to actually say what I am painting. These are called, and I don't know how to say it, so I'm so sorry, but they're called Waisley Kandinsky circles. Here's the thing. I actually had a project making these in like 3rd grade. We used oil pastels on like black paper to make them, and I remember finding that project so much fun. Like, that was like my favorite one because it could look messy, it could look dumb, and you know what, that was fine. That was part of the art process. I think that's what I love about modern art a lot, because I'm so drawn to modern art now. Obviously, I'm such a modern girl. What am I saying? Modern art really draws me in because there's not a lot of like form to it. Like, I feel like if you look at like old traditional art or like landscapes and things like that, it looks so like, it looks difficult. That's the thing. Like, when I look at something made by like Bob Ross, for example, I'm like, that is so bonkers. I could never make that. It literally frustrates me to look at it because it's like, oh, that looks so unattainable. That's how I see it, you know? But when I look at modern art, you know, abstract art, that's probably the better word to use it instead of modern. Abstract. It seems more obtainable. It seems easier. And because of that, I relate to it more. I can actually understand that more. But yeah, no, the process of making this was actually really fun. As you can see, I kind of don't wait for the thing to dry, or the painting. I don't let the painting dry, which I was kind of frustrated at myself for when I was in the process of making. I'm like, oh, why can't I just wait for this thing to dry? Like, why won't it dry? But looking back on it, it kind of looks cooler now because it kind of looks like it's like blending into the actual background. I don't know. I like it. I think it's cool. So whatever. I am fully aware that it looks like I'm painting like a toddler. Fully aware of that. I don't really care. For the first time in a while, I really found painting therapeutic, and I found it fun, you know, and I'm so happy that I get to enjoy painting again because, again, I really did love art class. I loved the vibe of it. I loved the teacher. I loved everything, you know, and maybe it doesn't seem like a lot to just make like a video about me painting and me talking over it, but for me, it means a lot. So there's that. You know, I had a really tough week this week. It was a lot of like work I was doing. I had to put a lot of brain power. I had 2 different SAT scores come out because I took the school day SAT and the May 7th SAT, which was just a whole kerfuffle in of itself. I got a good score. I'm pretty happy with my score. I am still going to take the SAT again because I'm foreign and I have to do it. It's my obligation. If I take the next SAT, which I will be taking, the June 4th SAT, it will be my 4th SAT. So That's a lot. But no, yeah, on top of that, I was really stressed out with school. I literally cried like every single day last week, which was awful. I hated it. It was draining. My eyeliner has taken a really big hit, and I don't think it will ever be the same. Even with all that stress, I was always kind of just thinking in the back of my head, like, wow, I really want to paint right now. Like, God, if I had the time to paint, you know? And you know what? That's exactly what I did, guys. That's exactly what I did. So I guess the takeaway from this video, if you can even get a takeaway from me ranting about painting and computing, if that's a word, jury's still out on if that's the right word I'm using. I think the takeaway is, if you really do like something, and it frustrates you that you're not good at it, try to take it into a different perspective. I was always trying to fit myself into like the, landscape, self-portraits, painting, traditional type of art. It was only when I found, relaxing, abstract, modern art that I was really able to enjoy painting and enjoy, making traditional art. Or traditional art in that, like, traditional drawing, painting, that type of thing. Art as a whole. So try to find that in your life, Try to look at an aspect or look at a thing you like but also are super frustrated by and take it from a different angle and see if that makes things easier. Because for me, it worked. And I now am in love with painting. So, yeah. I guess that's all. Here is the final product of the painting. I will show it up now. I'm proud of it. I think it's cool. And I'm really excited that I'm into painting again. But yeah, with all that being said, I'm going to close off this video. Be sure to like and subscribe. And do like the video. I think it's something I've been kind of forgetting to tell people is to like the video. So like it. If you like this type of content, like it. I'll know to make more of it. Follow me on all my other socials. Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. All that fun stuff. If nobody else loves you in this world, I most certainly do. And yeah, I'm going to go now. So, bye.